I ain't never been jealous or envious of other people's possessions. I feel like what's truly for you is truly for you. It don't have nothing to do with me. If it was meant for me, I'd have it and not you. I know we've all had situations and seen people have things that we ourselves wish we could have. But what clicks in my mind is to get up and go get it. Not take from others because they worked hard for that shit. They didn't deserve to have their stuff took or their life took over possessions or valuable material things or whatever that can easily be, brought. One thing that I learned is when you steal from somebody, you can replace it. But if you take somebody's life, if you lose your life, that's it. It's not a video game. It's not a restart. You don't get a second chance. Nothing that I have is worth my life. Nothing that you have is worth me taking your life. Oh, don't worry. I normally explain things later, but I think I'm explaining that right now. Let's start the show.
Ever been left speechless by the ridiculousness of modern dating? Or maybe you're more old school. Yeah, like seriously, what were we thinking with those pickup lines in the 90s? This is I'll Explain All This Later, the podcast where we dissect the crazy world of relationships. From dating app disasters to in-law interventions, we'll cover it all. Now, some of our takes might be a little hot, but hey, that's what you get when you press play and tune in. We'll explain the logic behind it all. Eventually. Anyway, let's dive in.
Y'all already know what it is. I'm going to tell y'all something about tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is a Chicago thing. It makes me feel good. We got to go home for a little bit on this. And so when I think about going home, I think about pioneers, legends. I think about dope ass people. So tonight is none other. It's special. It's special. I got my mans in the building. Got my man Rodis from the Rodis Live podcast. I'm going to let my mans introduce himself. That's how this works over here, man. Y'all know when it comes to podcasting, y'all got y'all picks and y'all favorites. I got my picks and my favorites, and I'm going to tell this brother like I tell him all the time, he one of my favorites. So, Rodis, man, introduce yourself one time for the good people.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Smash. I'm honored to be on I'll Explain All This Later podcast. My name is Rodis. I'm the host of the Rodis Live podcast. I've been doing it for 4 years, December 14th. My show is about hip-hop, urban culture, and entrepreneurship. And I'm a MC, I'm a writer, an author. That's what's popping.
Man, listen, this season is came full circle for me. I had a game plan, and I said Rodis had to be on this, and he came through. So tonight, listen, it's going to be super dope. Tonight's topic, y'all already know what this is, man. Season 2. Tonight's topic, OPP. That's what we calling this. OPP, other people's property. Tonight, we are going to assess people's feelings of envy and jealousy towards other people and other people's possessions. We're going to explore the root of these emotions and how to cope with them. We're going to explain the importance of gratitude, self-acceptance, and setting realistic expectations on how to get what you earn. Rodis, coming from the city that we come from, the crab in the barrel mentality. Nobody wants to see the next person win. At least it's a select few of people out here that want to see others do well and rise. But then you have those that genuinely don't want to see you make it. What do you feel contributes to that, in your opinion?
I think it's perception. Everybody want what you got, but they don't know what you had to do to get it. They don't understand the work that you have to put in to get what you're trying to obtain and succeed. They don't know your process. If you got a problem with somebody, you should talk to them. If you want to reach the same level of success as somebody else, just ask them, what I got to do to get that? How many hours do you put in to record? Whether you're a dishwasher, a painter, an artist, a barber, a stylist. So we're going to take barber, for example. You have to first be at the shop so you could be available. 2, you got to cut every head that you can, one at a time. So that's the process. But the thing is, people not willing to get up and be on time. For example, this podcast, we recording at a certain time. I was here 15 minutes early. It takes preparation, and you got to write things down. And most importantly, they got to do the things that they don't see, which is the work. You have to do the work. Nothing works if you don't work.
Everybody ain't willing to sit in that first chair, man. That first barber chair. They ain't willing to earn their way to the top. They looking for instant gratification. They think you just wake up out the bed and it's here right now. I had to sacrifice and work for everything I had to get, everything I got. When I tell you it wasn't easy, it just amazes me how people out here feel like they can take people's hard work away from them. I just seen a story that just happened in Chicago, man. Postal worker, her ex pulled up on her at her route and attacked this woman, saying that she was going to give him all that money or else. And I just felt like this woman get up and she work her tail off every morning. And you going to take away her hard work because she didn't no longer want to be with you? I just feel like a lot of times people, they look for the easy way out every single time. Y'all looking for the easy way out instead of putting that work in. You know what? You know why I work the way that I work, Riders? Because I don't want anybody to make me feel like without me, you wouldn't be here.
That's crazy.
I didn't never, listen, I left Chicago in 2016. When I left Chicago, I didn't have a bank account. I didn't know what a 401k was. I didn't know. There was a lot of things I did not know that I should have been preparing myself for, but I didn't know. When I left in 2016, I had 5 children. I think I had 5 children. I had 4 children and 1 on the way. And one of the easiest decisions that I feel like I ever made in my life was to get out of that city because I wasn't excelling. And I don't know if it was the people that I had around me. I just felt stagnant. I felt like I was doing the same shit. I got 4 kids. I got 1 on the way. I don't have nothing to my name. I was making quick money because I was a hustler. I was doing the CDs and DVDs and the fire sticks and all that stuff back then. But it was quick money. And with all these kids coming and growing and getting older, quick money didn't do it. So I planned ahead for like 2 months straight. I did my work. I moved. I had to get out. And as tough as it was, I don't regret that decision because I feel like everybody around me was either dying or they were doing stupid things that were going to get them killed. And I didn't want to be a part of that. I had other things to do. I never walked up to somebody and coveted what they had. Yo, what you got is what you got. You earned that. I ain't coveting your lady. I ain't coveting your house. I ain't coveting your cars. I ain't coveting none of that because I was never a jealous, envious kind of dude. If anything, I'm picking your brain. Mm-hmm. And when I look at people now, it's like y'all out here trying to take what people really, really worked for. They worked for that.
Yeah. Like Chicago, like they say, Haterville's ill is straight up sickening. Doors kicked in. He said, she said, violations, pumpkin heads, wind up dead. This place is the home of the weeds. And when it comes to jealousy, you know, I think that's just a female trait.
Yeah.
Because it's an emotional trait, and emotions conflict with intelligence and common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you go to college degree don't come with common sense. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of people, they not using common sense. If you want something or you trying to obtain something, you got to take the sequential steps to obtain whatever it is that you working for. And people, they don't want to do the work.
I got a first hand at what jealousy and envy was when I was 6 years old. My brother was the dude. Like he was the man. At 16 years old, that dude was on his way. He had the girls, all the little girls in the neighborhood wanted him. Everybody wanted to hang with him. He was a hooper. He excelled in the classroom, everything. They got scholarships that they give out every year after my brother, still to this day. And somebody that he thought was a friend, that he was with, kicking it with, daily, eating with, chilling with, cut my brother life short over jealousy.
You
Didn't
know
even
what
have
you know what they say, Smash? An enemy is rarely a stranger.
rarely a stranger. And he didn't even have a legit reason, bro. He just did it. They didn't fight. They wasn't into it. He didn't have a legitimate reason. And still to this day, I always look back and wonder what happened to this dude because he got off. This is one of the reasons why I don't have faith in the justice system as it is now. But this was a big reason why my anger and the way that I move when I get close to people, because y'all was cool. It wasn't like you was an enemy. It wasn't like you was somebody that, unless you had a secret distaste and you just picked your moment. But it's like when you chilling with somebody and you growing with somebody and you building with somebody, you don't expect it. So I got a firsthand look. At 6 years old, I felt like everything around me changed at that moment.
How
And
was your brother, Smash?
he was 16.
Rest in peace to your brother. I'm
Yep.
sorry you had to go
Yeah,
through
he
that.
was 16, man. And I learned to be so strong from my mom's. That was her oldest. So I never seen her stop. I never seen her quit. I never seen her fold. If she did cry or whatever, she would never let us see it. Like at the end of the day, I think her mentality was she can't give up because we all she got. So
Right.
I think a lot of times why she was so hard on me, because she didn't want me to end up in the same fate, because I was an honor roll student, but I was bad as hell. I wanted to be in the streets. My brother was doing his thing. My sister was doing her thing in school, in the books. It was me. It was me getting kicked out of schools left and right. It was me hanging out with the tough crowds. And a lot of times I felt lost in this world. So I still didn't fully understand death. I thought death was something on TV. When they say, oh, he ain't coming back, I'm thinking like, oh, he just moved away or something like that at 6 years old. My mind didn't process it. But in this world, and not just in Chicago, everywhere, you got to stop trying to cut the grass. I don't even cut the grass no more. The minute I find a snake, you got to cut the head. You ain't cutting the grass is cool.
Hey, when you sever the head, you destroy the body.
Yeah, cutting the grass is cool. And I think the reason being, man, that people was out here killing and taking lives over nothing for money. Think about the Young Dolph situation. Dude and them got $800.
You can't measure wealth by material things.
You got life in jail for life.
No common sense.
$800 is what you got for taking somebody's life. I really hope that money was worth it. $800 is worth your life.
But you know what it is? That just shows that they didn't value their life.
Mm-hmm.
And their definition of value don't have nothing to do with life. I like the internet as a tool, but it has desensitized people so much with the violence, with relationships and everything. Like, shout out to all the relationship podcasts. Shout out to everybody that do the relationship skits and everything. It's nothing against them. But the thing that people fail to realize is you got to work out the kit that you have. So when I say that is like my wife, she a firecracker. Ain't none on social media gonna help me deal with her because none of these situations are realistic or have anything to do with my reality. So when I say that, what I mean is none of that shit gonna work. I have to do what I have to do that
Experience.
that's relatable to the dynamic of our situation.
And you know what? I ain't never been scared to help the next person because I ain't never been worried about somebody outshining me or getting ahead of me or doing any of that. It's like, for what? At the end of the day, we are all running the same race. We all trying to make it. We all trying to make it. I had to learn my lessons in this podcast shit, in life, in podcasting, in parenting. I had to learn my lessons. I had to figure out what worked for me. I stopped worrying about what worked for everybody else. I stopped worrying about what they're doing over there and how they're doing it over there. I will study, I will watch, I will listen. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to live life for me. I ain't never been jealous or envious of nothing. Like, you know how they say, oh man, I want to be just like you when I grow up. I never had one of them moments. Never had one of them moments. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be like nobody else or because I didn't want to be somebody else. It was just, I had my own vision, my own way of doing things. And it's good that for anybody that's ever doing something, I'm clapping for you. I'm not trying to tear you down because I feel like you out where you getting what you getting. If you getting what you getting, you deserve that shit. One of the things that I like about watching people like you, I see the elevation. Y'all not staying in the same place. I see you stepped out your realm and you picked. I was there when you first started podcasting. I see the elevation every season, dog. Like, at first I thought it was just gonna be, oh, okay, he's just gonna have artists on there. But you got poets and authors and everybody coming through your platform, man. So that's what it takes. You found your lane and you stuck with it. A lot of people don't know what finding their lane is. They're too busy piggybacking and trying to ride people's coattails to get to where they need to get to instead of coming up with their own. Like, everybody don't know, man. Everything ain't for everybody. The blessings that I got were for me because that's why I got them. I done hit rock bottom. I done had people doubt. People try to tear me down. People try to tear everything down that I built. If it wasn't podcasting, it was life. If it wasn't life, it was marriage. If it wasn't marriage, it was relationships. If it wasn't relationships, it was friendships. If it wasn't friendships, it was podcasting. I had so many people try to tear everything down, bro, that eventually you got to shut everybody out. If they ain't trying to see what you building and they ain't trying to be a part of it and figure out how they can help you, shut their ass out. Because at the end of the day, the only person that's really going to have your back is you. You got to answer for that. And that's what I learned. It's a hard lesson I had to learn because everybody don't have their best intentions. But let me ask you, what are the root causes of envy and jealousy? What do you feel brings that out of people?
Fear. Fear of not taking the step that person took to get where they at. Fear of not trying to do it themselves. And fear of success.
Facts.
Because they don't even try.
Facts.
A lot of people, they talk about demons and all of that, but a lot of people, they vampires, they try to just drain your energy. So sometimes you gotta, it's cool to pray, right? But when you praying, you talking. But when you meditate, you listening. You understand? And sometimes you gotta get the message. You gotta sit down and meditate so you could get the message so you could go and do all the things that it is that you need to do. But you gotta pay attention.
I think fear of rejection, fear of failing, because it worked for Rodis and it worked for Smash and it's not working for me. What if I'm not accepted the way that they are? What if I don't have the success that they have? What if I fall on my face? What if I took that leap and I fall on my face and now, you know, hee hee ha ha, everybody's laughing? these are things that I think people go through, and fear of actually putting in the work. Got a lot of lazy people out here, bro.
So look at it like this, Smash. Success is a mindset. How many times you did an episode, you really wanted to do the episode, and you didn't think that it was going to work. You didn't think nobody was going to like it. Nobody was going to dig it. And then when you look, you was like, wow, I can't believe this. People gravitated towards this because
Hell yeah.
sometimes people, they can identify with things because there's a lot of topics that people don't want to touch on. But you just got to put it out there to see if they've been through it or experienced it.
Yeah. Or how many times have you got an episode and it didn't come out the way that you wanted to come out, and you just said, nah, I'm gonna go ahead on shelve that. And the way podcasting works, if you don't capture that magic, it can work twofold. It could be you get an episode, you don't like it, and then you shelve it, and then you go back and re-record it. Either you're gonna have an even better episode, or you just not gonna feel the episode at all. And a lot of times people try to force the magic instead of just letting that shit happen naturally. Like, overnight success ain't really a real thing. It's a real thing, but it's rare. Nobody wakes up and says, I'm a millionaire, or I'm 1,000 now, I'm this, I'm that. It's just unrealistic. It happens, but anybody that's ever got to where they trying to get to, they put that work in. That sometimes you have like people who are just giving shit.
They don't appreciate it.
Giving it to them. And then, exactly. Like, you are giving things, pass things down from generation to generation because families want to keep that shit in the family. Right. And I've seen plenty of people lose things that they quite fully wasn't ready to take care of.
You know why? Because nobody told them the importance of the value of whatever it was that was being passed down to them. You got to blend up the food and feed it to them. Tell them when they 5. Tell them when they're a teenager. Tell them when they a young adult. And then when they get grown, you like, hey, you know, I ain't got that much time left, but hey, it's time. You know what? You remember what I've been telling you all these years, and then it's like automatic.
Some people hard-headed though. They don't want to take in the lessons because everybody has their own way of doing things. I was that person. You know what I'm saying? You could tell me a bunch of things, and if it didn't fit my agenda, I didn't really want to hear it. Now I live in a space where I used to love negativity. I used to love hanging in the hood and running the block and getting into mischief. Now, that was in my 20s.
Right.
I'm damn near 40.
But see, that's evolution. That's life. You keep growing and you keep learning and you keep adjusting. And whatever it is that you do, you got to be consistent. Be consistent. Write things down. One thing that I do is I talk to my peers, my podcasting peers.
Facts.
And whenever I get a compliment from you or anybody, I appreciate that.
I think that's what it is too. People don't compliment and support each other. I think we'll rather look to cut your legs out from under you than help you carry you to the finish line because you're tired, you wore out. You know,
that's
you ain't
crazy. Look, you know, it don't cost nothing to share.
Man, bro.
It don't cost nothing to share. The only way I won't share something is if my ideals or beliefs don't go with whatever was said or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm entitled to that. But other than that, I'm sharing it.
Because I feel like this too. What you do might not be for me. But if somebody down my timeline sees you, sees what you're doing, sees what you're saying, and they fuck with it, and I possibly got you a new view or a new like or a new listener, then I'm all for it. I don't necessarily believe in, you know how much crazy shit I've said over the years that people may or may not believe or agree with. But at the end of the day, my thoughts have always been my thoughts. And I think what it is I want to see everybody eat, everybody around me eating. I've never been one again. If somebody on my team or somebody in my community or somebody that I rock with is winning, man, I'm right here cheering you on. I'm right here winning with you. It gets to the point where sometimes you got to keep everything that you're doing to yourself, like all the moves that you're making, everything that you got your hands on. Sometimes you got to keep it to yourself because people ain't necessarily happy for you. They looking for you. They looking for everything that you're doing so they can plot how to get in between that. So sometimes you got to keep all your blessings and all the things that's coming your way to yourself. And it's fucked up because you want to express to the world what you got going on. You want to be proud of your brand. You want to be proud of things you accomplish. But because I see why the people who win the lottery, they be wearing masks and all that shit because people plotting. They ain't happy. They plotting. You see it all the time, man. You see it. And it be the people around you. It don't be the strangers. It be listen, I get the weirdest feelings. You didn't think this person was plotting on you at all? Like, you don't think that? This is why, listen, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. Everybody can't come to your house.
Hell no.
Some people meant to just kick it with you on your porch. Some people meant to just kick it with you down the block. Some people just meant to not even kick it with you at all. We just talk on the phone. Everybody can't come to your house.
Everybody can't go.
Man, you get too friendly. You get too comfortable. You letting everybody in your house. Now they watching everything that you got going on. They know everything that you're moving.
But you know what, Smash? That's cool because they can't do it like you do it. They don't know where your original thoughts came from. They don't know how you going to execute nothing. If somebody is copying or biting, look at that as a form of flattery or they dig you or something like that. Because the thing about it is nobody could do it like you do it. Nobody knew your thought process when you did it. I don't care what kind of spin they put on something or any of that. Your creation was an original thought from you.
And it's not a race.
It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And just be consistent. Do your show. Be a fan of other people's shows. Don't worry about what nobody else is doing and focus on what you need to be doing.
Even in just real life. I'm not watching my man's pockets.
Oh, no.
I'm not watching what he driving, where he getting this from, who his lady is, what his lady doing, how much he paid on his house. I'm not pocket watching you because that's not going to get me nothing. Like, I'm not that type of person. I keep my eyes on my own paper. That is what the best lesson I got out of school. Keep your eyes on your own paper. Focus on you.
It's a saying, knowing is half the battle.
So
if you know you got money, you don't have to dress like you got money. It's okay to splurge. It's okay to wear designer. It's okay to do whatever you want to do. But long as you know you got money, you don't have to show that you have money. Like me, I'm a polo dude. This is my thing. This is my secret society shit that I wear. Like when I go sell cribs, this is what I wear to work when I teach. Knowing that you got a portfolio, knowing that you got bread in the bank, knowing that you take care of your kids. When you get to a level, when you have something of value, you don't care what nobody else think because as long as you know,
you could talk.
You ain't got to prove nothing.
You could talk about me all day. As long as I know I got that Uno card in my back pocket, as long as I know what I'm doing, I don't owe the world shit. I don't owe you no explanation about nothing. Because at the end of the day, I wake up every day and my kids have a roof over their head. They got clothes on their back. They eat good. They got good grades. They don't want or need for anything. That's my measure of success. I'm not a big designer dude. I don't have $500 Gucci shirts and all that shit. That's your measure of success. It's not mine. I came in this world with a different mind frame. Like, I don't have to keep up with the Joneses to be a Jones. I ain't want to be the Joneses. I wanted to be me. So my measure of success, the way that I move and what I feel like is my way of living and my reason for living might not be what the next person is. And I think that's what they hate. They hate that the way that I got or the way that others get what they're getting, they worked for it. It wasn't handed to them. A lot of times people get mad because you're doing the same thing that they're doing. We both work this job, but my position is higher than yours. Mm-hmm. That's where the jealousy and envy comes at it too. We doing the same shit. I just know more and I do it better. And you can't stand that shit.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I started podcasting, I always picked up the phone to pick your brain and ask you things because I felt that you was more knowledgeable about certain things in podcasting. Mm-hmm. And like people say your network is your net worth. When I came into podcasting and through all of the ordeals and everything you've been through, you have always had the ability to attract people. And so I'm saying that to say this. Your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. Because the ability to reach out to somebody and have assistance, whether it's reciprocated or not, just to know that they willing to do something for you or they stand by you and you'll return a favor, that's priceless.
Because I remember when I was coming up in the game, the people that was already doing the podcasting, they didn't want to help me. They felt like the knowledge that they give me was going to turn me to even more of a beast because they seen my track record. They seen what I do with anything that's put in front of me. So they felt like, man, we're not giving him tips. We're not helping him. Anybody that listened to him, we ain't rocking with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People slammed doors in my faces and it kind of made me mad. And so then what I did was I said, all right, listen, I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to study everything I need to know about podcasting and how to do this and how to do that. All the equipment, all the editing, all that shit I learned on my own. And then what I started doing was finding people who needed that extra push, needed that extra help. And I had my doors open to them, no hesitation. That's the difference because I wanted to be to people what I didn't have when I came in the game. No, I don't know everything there is about life, but I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to sit down and talk and guide and listen and even take pointers. I ain't never been, it took me a while because you remember my ego days. Like I had one of the biggest egos that a person could ever have, and I hadn't even done shit. But it was just my confidence in the way that I moved and the way that I felt like. And sometimes it ain't even your actions should speak louder than your words. It's cool to have the words. And I think about where I am now compared to back then. I feel like I'm a lot better now. Back then, I might have felt like I was super dope at this podcast and stuff. Now I feel like I'm even better and I actually feel it and I actually see it because the way that I'm moving now is so dope and it's refreshing because I don't have to get out here and brag and do my thing. I just got to let the work speak for itself. There's a saying, the work will sell itself if you got enough of it. So as long as I'm out here doing the things that I'm doing and I'm seeing y'all and I'm seeing you and the Germs and the Dolies and the Cool Out Corners and Jay and everybody out here doing their thing, man, listen, I got to sit back. I sit back like, man, I'm watching all these black people. I got to go race for a second because we don't give props to our people. I got to sit back and say, man, I am proud to be in this community of people who are doing their thing. And when I think about you and I think about one of the dopest things that I ever seen, bro, was the pod tape. Like creatively, I don't think that I've seen something that put other people together from all the regions that did that shit creatively the way that you did it. Bro, that shit was genius.
Man.
Straight up. That shit was genius.
The reason
And
why I
that-
did it like that is because I didn't want to mess up nobody's words. I wanted everybody to speak for themselves.
Yeah, that shit was genius. And it lit a fire under me, bro, because that was a new idea that hadn't been done. Like,
Let me ask you this, Smash. You know a lot of podcasters, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you presented some of their shows to your audience, just think how big that'd be.
Well, yeah. Styles gave me some advice a long time ago.
Right.
And I've been taking this advice to the heart. You can't really help others. And it ain't a full quote, but what I got from it was you can't really help others. Like right now, you
focus right now. You got tunnel vision right now.
Yeah, you're a jack of all trades, but you're not excelling at one thing. Like if somebody asks you, what exactly are you great at? You're good at a lot of things.
Right.
But what exactly are you great at? And I realized I was too busy because, I had like 20 different shows. I had debates. I had all this stuff going up and mumble jumbled all up at once. Right. So this time around, like I said at the beginning, I stopped focusing on what other people are doing. I started putting that work into myself. What you did with the pod tape, I could probably never replicate that, and I wouldn't even try, because that to me takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of growth. And a lot of people, one of the things that I'm learning is how can I push you and you not even pushing you?
This is a fact.
Yeah. How can I go harder at pushing you than you are? And I'm not getting paid for it. I'm just doing it off the strength of love, and I'm taking energy from myself. The way I could be pushing you, I could be pushing myself, because at least I know myself is going to push myself back. I'm pushing you, trying to get you new eyes and views, and you not even trying to get you new eyes and views.
I feel you. Hey, self-preservation is the first law of man. I can't argue with that, my brother.
So at this point, I was just like, yo, if you want my help, cool. Let's work. Let's focus. If not, I'm going to go ahead on and go over here and explain all this later. And I'm locked in. Like right now, I'm locked in. Even right now, man. And I'm going to tell you like this. I've never been afraid to reach out. Like I know with you do the music, you do the shows, you do things like this. So I remember when I was trying to get the live shows popping, and you was like, hey, check this venue out and reach out to them and do this and do that. And this is how you get your tickets made and things. Bro, like that type of shit, people out here charge for that type of shit. Yeah. The fact that you was offering this shit to me just off the strength, man, that's invaluable.
That's reciprocity, because you offer me things that I needed when I needed them, and you didn't charge me. Now, I do charge people for consultations and stuff like that, but not you.
Facts. That's why, like I said, everybody isn't built like that.
No,
people will look at you for advice and try to figure out, how can I make some money? How can I take advantage? How can I do this and do that? You will trip people up just to feed your own desires. That ain't never been me. Now, as I grow and I take things in the stride, I just learned how to separate myself from those type of people. Not against them. I don't wish them bad or nothing like that. It's just sometimes you got to know when to cut the strings, bro. If you steady I'm on level 5, but I steady got to drop down to level 2 to come pull you up. Once we get to 5, I'm trying to elevate to 6, 7, 8, and you still stuck on 5 because you still trying to worry about what's going on level 1. I don't have time for it. No.
This is how I look at it. Like, people at the bottom, they compete. People that's making progress, they collaborating, like we doing right now.
So before we get ready to wrap this up, what is the biggest advice you can offer to anybody out here listening on how to the people around you and pick the opportunities and the situations that you choose to indulge yourself in? How do you avoid the jealous and envy and the greed and all of that? What's your take on it?
So pay attention to your five senses. 9 times out of 10, somebody will show you something that'll let you know, hey, I ain't fucking with them. So you got to pay attention to the signs. That's why you establish boundaries. So you can avoid all of the bullshit. So my thing is stay focused, be consistent, do what it is that you got to do, and don't let nobody drain your energy. There's a lot of vampires out here. All the time that you could be spending doing something positive, growing whatever you got going on, you interacting and digressing and falling back to somebody who ain't got nothing going on, that's just a setback when you could be growing. Be consistent, stay focused, and write things down and keep doing your show.
So for me, sometimes if you can't change the people around you, you got to change yourself.
So even in relationships, you can't change the person you with. All you can do is adjust. You play the hand that's dealt to you.
You got to change yourself, change your environment, change your surroundings. And you can't change the world. Cool. I can't change the world. I could definitely change me, though. I could definitely change how I move. I could definitely change the places I go, the things I do, who I choose to give my time and energy to, who I choose to love, and who I choose to just value. Like, you don't have to value me because 9 times out of 10, I ain't going to be in that room. No way.
Right. What I say is always lead with respect. If people don't respect you, don't fuck with them.
Facts. I can't even stand around you if you don't respect me. And I for damn sure can't stand around you if I don't trust you. If I feel like you gonna snake me, I can't get around just based off how you snaking other people. Snake is a snake. Exactly. It ain't no change in a snake. They'll snake you like they'll snake everybody else. So the beauty of it is find people who aren't snakes, or find people who hate snakes just like you do, and learn to process of elimination. Listen, Rodis, let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you, man. All that good stuff, man. What's happening over there with Rodis Live?
So I got episodes recorded all the way to the new year. Facts. So I'm working on releasing a season for January 2025. And I'm going to release all the episodes on one day. It's going to be 10 episodes. And then after that, I'll probably be dropping new episodes maybe in April because I'm working on music. And a lot of people be like, oh, maybe your listeners ain't going to be tuned in, this, that, and the other. But the way that I'm going to work that out is, since it's 10 episodes, I'm going to promote a clip every week, all week. You understand? So they can see the first episode, but you will be able to binge everything. You understand? So when I'm promoting these clips, it'll be like new episodes for whoever didn't listen to the season in its entirety.
Hell yeah.
But I'm just keeping everything fresh, and I'm talking and communicating with like-minded people and podcasters. Like, I even had podcasters that call me and say, hey, you owe me an iPhone because somebody was lying on your show. I appreciate that. But to answer your question, you could find me on www.rodesonline.net. I have the visuals and the audio on my podcast there. And you can find my podcast on all streaming platforms at linktree/RODES.
Listen, for me, it's very simple. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere I want to be. That's generally how I've been doing things. I'm everywhere I want to be. A lot of times people don't be understanding that. But you can find me everywhere. Apple, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. All my links, Linktree / I'll explain all this later. And that's where you can catch everything. We are working on a brand new website. So that's something that I'm putting the work in together.
Congrats.
I just found a whole lot of footage that I did when I first started podcasting in 2018. I just found a flash drive with a whole lot of footage. So I might do a little documentary. I'm really debating because it's a lot of good things that people haven't seen or the process. So I'm really sitting down debating on if I want to do that. So that's something else. But right now, I just want to finish up with these seasons and get his content the attention that it deserves. And that's what it's about for me. Brand new episodes. Y'all catch us every Monday. We have one more episode coming. And then we're going to take a little mid-season break. We're going to be doing the holidays. So for Christmas, I have a special Christmas episode we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about, I'm going to get a panel of people, and we're going to be talking about some of our favorite Christmas times and Christmas movies and Christmas music and things like that. So it's going to be dope. I got something that I really want to do and bring people together. So yeah, that's something that we'll be looking forward to do. Listen, y'all already know what it is. The next episode of I'll Explain All This Later, we're going to be talking about racial profiling. We're going to be talking about discrimination. We're going to be talking about stereotypes. It's about time we have that conversation, man, and bring that to the fold. So that is what you're going to catch on the next episode, the mid-season finale of I'll Explain All This Later. Y'all already know what it is, man. Until next time, for my boy Rodis, we'll catch y'all when we catch y'all.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to I'll Explain All This Later. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us again next time for more outlandish takes on relationships and the dating life.